It's 15:25 on October 13, 2025. South China Sea near Scarborough Shoal. The USS Dewey snaps from routine to red alert as contacts multiply across the scope. Alarms hammer the passageways. Hatches slam. Boots pound steel. On the bridge, calm voices cut through the noise. Bearings, ranges, closure rates. Outside, two Chinese ships tangle and clip holes in the chase. Metal screams, spray erupts, and the pack barely slows. More hulls slide in, Type 52D Hefe, Type 54 Amperes Luzhou, white-hulled cutters marked Haijing 5,304 and 5,305, with militia trawlers filling the gaps. A Z-9C helicopter skims low, rotors thudding over gray water. The ring tightens to 300 yards, close enough to see crew on decks, cameras aimed, loud hailers barking threats in clipped Mandarin and English. Dewey answers on radio. Steady, measured by the book. Engines surge. The destroyer shifts a few degrees, buying sea room without giving ground. Every eye locks on the horizon line. Every second stretches. One wrong move, one spark, and this narrow patch of ocean becomes the place where a regional crisis turns into a fight no one can call back. The South China Sea isn't just blue water, it's a highway that carries 1/3 of global trade. Every container ship passing through feeds markets, fuels factories, and keeps lights on from Manila to Los Angeles. When tensions spike here, grocery prices back home feel it. That's why the USS Dewey patrols near Scarborough Shoal, protecting freedom of navigation for everyone, not just the US. But this time, the challenge is sharper. China's Coast Guard and maritime militia have turned the shoal into a wall of steel and noise. Their ships move in tight packs, using horns, floodlights, and radio threats to intimidate. The Philippines' largest patrol vessel, Teresa Magbanua, tries to resupply forces nearby but is blocked by water cannons and blaring warnings. To Beijing, this is enforcement. To Washington, it's coercion. A clash here could trigger the US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty, pulling the region into confrontation. American credibility and allied trust hang in the balance. Insurers are watching. Rates jump when tempers flare. Fishermen sheltering coves, cargo captains replot routes, and phones light up in Manila, Tokyo, and Canberra as officials compare notes and lines they will not let be crossed. Inside the Dewey, the crew knows what's at stake. They aren't just protecting a stretch of ocean, they're standing between peace and a spiral no one wants to name. Every radar ping carries weight. Every transmission could decide whether the next day brings calm seas or a breaking headline. If you were standing on that bridge, would you hold the line or back off? Hit 1 if you'd stand firm, 9 if you'd pull back. The crew's next choice might decide more than their own fate. 15:42, less than 20 minutes since the first contact. The USS Dewey tracks a fresh wave of movements closing fast from the north. Radar plots 6, maybe 8 ships. Their courses converge like claws. On the bridge, the commander's voice stays even. Maintain distance. Do not provoke. But outside, the sea feels crowded. The horizon packed with steel and wake foam. Range, 200 yards, a watch officer calls out. Loud hailers from Chinese cutters blare commands. Leave immediately or face consequences. The crew can see the white hull numbers: Haijing 5,304 leading, 5,305 sliding wide to port. Behind them, a militia trawler swings in too close, throwing a wake that rocks the destroyer. Dewey's captain orders a defensive maneuver. A slow turn to starboard, engines steady at 15 knots. The message is clear: stand ground, but don't start the fight. The US destroyer fires no weapons, but her deck-mounted cameras and radar arrays lock on every movement. A warning tone beeps inside the Combat Information Center. One Chinese vessel's fire control radar has lit up Dewey. The crew stiffens, fingers hover near controls. For a second, no one breathes. The situation could flip in a heartbeat. A single mistake, a misread signal, a panicked helmsman could send 2 warships colliding. Over open comms, a calm US Navy voice transmits, "This is United States warship Dewey, conducting lawful operations in international waters. Request you maintain safe distance." The Chinese radio crackles back. You are intruding into Chinese territory. Leave or bear responsibility. At 1548, a Chinese helicopter Z-9C drops altitude and circles the destroyer. Rotors whipping spray across the deck. Below, sailors shield their faces from the torrent, hands tight on rails. Sensors track every loop. The commander gives a short nod. The ship's phalanx CIWS rotates toward the sky, not firing, but ready. It's a message in metal. We see you. Around the world, satellites and newsrooms lock onto the live feeds. For a moment, 20 ships, a single destroyer, and millions of viewers are bound by the same question: how close can two nations come to the edge before one of them slips? 16:3, the ocean feels smaller. Dewey sensors track another cluster of ships moving in from the east. The Chinese formation is no longer passive. Cutters and militia boats are weaving, closing gaps, tightening their circle. Overhead, the Z-9C helicopter drops flares, brilliant orange streaks carving across the dusk. It's not an attack, but it's a signal: you're surrounded. The destroyer steadies her engines. Inside the Combat Information Center, sailors hunch over screens glowing green and gold. Every mark matters. Every bearing shift might mean a new attempt to ram. Haijing 5305 crosses the bow at 100 yards, close enough that the crew can see the ship's wake curling white against the gray hull. The deck trembles as Dewey counters with a small turn to port, just enough to avoid collision. They're testing reactions, the XO mutters. The commander nods. Tension crackles in the air like static. Orders are clipped, calm, practiced. No shouting now, only the rhythm of a crew trained for the narrow space between peace and disaster. At 16:9, a militia vessel cuts sharply across Dewey's path, spraying high-pressure water from its deck cannons. The torrent hits the destroyer's bow and splashes over the deck. Cameras roll. Saltwater pours through railings as crew members grip safety lines. The move is deliberate, a message sent not just to the US Navy, but to every lens watching. Dewey responds by broadcasting a calm warning in both English and Mandarin. Cease unsafe maneuvers. Maintain safe distance. The radio stays silent. Another wave hits, harder. Sparks flash where salt water meets hot steel. Then static bursts across comms. Philippine voices cut through. We're under fire hoses at Sabina. No access. Request support. The commander's jaw tightens. He glances at the map, a web of red icons, each one a confrontation in motion. Every choice narrows options for the next minute. From the outside, it looks like a standoff. Inside, it feels like holding your breath underwater, waiting to see who blinks first. The bridge crew watches the horizon blur under flares, the hum of engines steady and low. If you were in command now, would you push through or pull back? Hit 1 if you'd break the ring, 9 if you'd hold the line. Either choice could change what happens next. 16:27 something shifts. The radar screen lights up with a new contact. Fast, small, low to the water. Not a ship, not a plane. The ops officer squints. Unmanned surface craft, bearing 081. A murmur ripples through the room. Drones. The kind Beijing has been testing for months. Cheap, fast, remote-controlled, meant to confuse and probe. 2, then 4 more appear. They move like scattered birds, weaving through the waves toward the American destroyer. On deck, sailors point and shout. The sea churns with white wakes. One drone cuts straight across Dewey's bow, its small engine buzzing like an angry wasp. The commander reacts instantly. Deploy decoys. Ready countermeasures. Flares streak skyward, a defensive wall of sound pulses underwater as the destroyer tries to jam the drone's guidance. But the machines don't break off. They tighten their pattern, circling, closing. One gets within 50 yards before a 25mm gun roars, sending bursts across the water. The drone explodes in spray and smoke, but the others keep coming. Reports pour in. The same drones are harassing Philippine ships at Sabina. Someone, somewhere, is coordinating this. In the CIC, sweat beads on foreheads. The commander orders the ship to shift formation, angling the bow toward open sea, ready for a breakout if needed. On the horizon, cutters spread like goalposts while the Z-9C hovers, its camera fixed on the destroyer, recording every twitch. Inside, the ship's log stamps each close pass and bearing change, building a minute-by-minute record of a line being inched toward. For the first time, the line between crowding and combat blurs. These aren't warnings anymore, they're rehearsals for something larger. The bridge crew knows it, the audience around the world sees it. Every second now feels like the start of something that can't be undone. 1641, the sea erupts. 2 remaining drones dart in from opposite sides, skimming the waves. The bridge shakes as the ship's 25mm gun opens fire again, each burst hammering through mist and noise. One drone veers off, smoking. The other keeps coming, closing to 30 yards. The commander shouts, "CIWS engage!" The phalanx spins up, whining like a turbine. Then a roar, 4,500 rounds per minute shred the air. Tracers arc orange across the gray sky. The incoming drone disintegrates mid-surge fragments, slamming into the water in a burst of steam and foam. The ship rocks under the recoil. Crew cheer for half a second, then fall silent. New blips flash on radar, more contacts forming on the perimeter. Chinese cutters shift position, bows angled inward. Their loud hailers blare again, louder this time. "You are in Chinese waters. Leave immediately." Dewey speakers answer, "We will maintain position." The radio noise thickens into static and overlapping voices. The commander orders Dewey to half speed, turning slightly to unmask her battery, still defensive, but ready. Sailors reload belts, water streaming from helmets and jackets. Above, the Z9C banks sharply, its camera glinting like an eye. The destroyer's sensors lock onto it. One wrong move could mean a missile launch, a flash that no one can take back. Water cannons rake the bow in a blinding sheet. Collision alarms bellow as a militia hull knifes across the starboard quarter 10 yards, then 8, left 5 degrees, steady. The helmsman answers. Screws bite. The gap widens by a breath. A flare bursts overhead, turning spray into orange rain. 1648. Distance closing 150 yards. Wake patterns cross like knife marks. The XO leans close. They're boxing us in. The commander nods once, eyes fixed ahead. His voice is steady. We stay on station. Engines rumble. Guns track. Every man and woman aboard knows this could be the second the world tilts. The camera feeds capture it all, the trembling horizon, the faces lit by warning lights, the clash of resolve between two nations staring straight into each other's reflection. If you were watching from that deck, would you fire first or hold your ground? Tap 1 if you'd pull the trigger, 9 if you'd trust restraint. Either choice decides how this night ends. By dawn on October 14th, the storm has passed, but only just. Chinese ships begin peeling away, their white hulls fading into the gray horizon. The radio crackles with short, clipped messages, disengaging, maintaining distance. On the deck of the USS Dewey, sailors exhale for the first time in hours. Salt water drips from railings, brass casings lie scattered near the guns. The ocean, calm again, feels heavier somehow. No shots were fired across nations, yet the world feels closer to the edge. The incident logs show near collisions, radar locks, drones, destroyed each one, a line that could have started a war. The commander stands by the bridge window, watching the retreating wakes fade into mist. He knows the next time might not end this way. In Manila, Washington, and Beijing, the phones haven't stopped ringing. Officials measure words like fuse lengths. News anchors replay the footage. Flashing lights, spray, the thunder of the phalanx gun. Commentators argue whether the US held firm or simply got lucky. Allies take notes. Adversaries study every frame. The Dewey turns slowly toward open sea, her engines humming a steady note of defiance. The crew begins cleanup, reloading, repairing, logging. Every sailor knows this wasn't victory, but proof. Deterrence still holds. For now, the South China Sea remains open, but only because one crew refused to blink first. For the US, the message is clear. Resolve matters. So does restraint. Every crisis like this buys time or spends it. And somewhere beyond the horizon, someone is already planning the next test. Would you stand for peace through strength or push back harder next time? Tap 1 if you double down, 9 if you'd hold the line. Either way, this isn't over. Subscribe and stay ready for the next flashpoint.